What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another bit of a debate regarding Heung-min Son. And we're going to be talking about the age-old debate now, whether it's left-wing striker, where does he suit our system now? And Ali Gold has caused a bit of a stir on social media, to put it lightly, with this tweet that he's put out. So let's just read this tweet and then we'll get into it. And so the tweet says, by Ali Gold, I've seen a couple of replies suggesting Spurs should instead get a statement signing of a left wing. Son is going to be Spurs' left winger next season. Werner and Johnson are good options as well, and Solomon too. Statement signings for me are needed in other positions.
That was off the back of an article he did about Tottenham getting Timo Werner on a permanent basis, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot has been made out of that tweet, and we've got one of the biggest Heung-min Son left wing enthusiasts about to come on and give us his 2 cents on the matter, and we'll have a little debate. But so let's introduce, he doesn't really need an introduction, but it is the Irish Hotspur. Big up to David. David, how you doing, my friend?
Good afternoon, boys. Hope you're keeping well, and good afternoon all Tottenham fans out there as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. You got the right man on for the job this time.
100%. But we still are only seeming to get you on after a loss, a 4-0 loss last time. But it is the North London derby coming next week, where a certain someone will be down in London and hoping to get 3 points. But this is not about North London derby. This is not about losses or wins. This is about Heung-min Son. So on the face of things, what was your reaction to that Ali Gold tweet? Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I completely agree with him. For me, look, I've been on here throughout the season always arguing that Sonny needs to be out on the left-hand side. For me, what this team really needs is a clinical number 9, an out-and-out striker, because playing up front is more than just running in behind. And that's where Son, gets a lot of his goals and stuff like that, is from running in behind. It's where he's most useful to Tottenham Hotspur. But in recent weeks, what you're seeing more and more is teams are sitting back. They're not allowing any space in behind. And all of our front three all want the same thing, spacing behind. Sonny is not at his best when he plays with his back to goal. And that's what every great striker has to do, is play with their back to goal. Sometimes fend off 2-3 players, link up, try and get turned and stuff like that. But also in recent weeks as well, I see Son getting very frustrated playing down the middle, because we're finding it very hard to get him into games. And what great strikers usually do is they can go large periods without being on the ball and stuff like that, but they're disciplined. They stay on the last shoulder, always look for that chance. And I just feel at times Son is maybe losing that discipline and sort of wants to get involved in the game and stuff like that. And I don't blame him, because he's always been that guy off the left wing. Get him the ball, let him go and create. And for me, I just think we're wasting Son up front. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he's done a great job in stepping in. But a huge part of the problem at Tottenham down the years has been repurposing players. Son is not a striker. He's filled in years gone by when Harry Kane was out, and he's filled in this season as well. But we need to get him back out onto the left wing. There's no point in having him up front when we're not creating, and he's our best creator in the team.
Looking at what Ali Gold said in the tweet, he said, next season he sees Son going back out to the left, and that he's kind of used that as a reason why we should get Timo Werner on a permanent, and then also use a statement signing to be like maybe the number 9. Other fans, including myself, I would say, I want a statement signing on the wing. I think we need a winger who's a bit younger, a bit fresher, a bit more ability to relentlessly take on his man and keep the ball up the pitch. For you, when Ali Gold says he doesn't think we need a statement signing on the wing, do you agree with that?
No, I disagree with that. I would like a statement signing on the wing and up front. Scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in football. When you look at our front line lately, it's very lackluster. It's very boring. And I think it puts a lot of pressure on this system and on Ange Postecoglou in general at this moment in time. Yes, people make arguments. Some of the signings he's using are ones that he's brought into the club and stuff like that. But for me, teams are finding it very easy against us lately. They just sit on the edge of their own box, block it up, wait to take the ball off us and counter. Everyone's blaming that defence against Newcastle for the amount of goals we conceded. 3 of the goals came off the back line, not being able to hold up the play and stuff like that. So for me, when we have the possession, we're sitting in the opposition half for long periods of time, but we don't do enough with that possession. We don't capitalize on it. Postecoglou's game is all about possession with a purpose, which means he wants to go and score goals and kill teams off. We're not doing that. Brennan Johnson blows too hot and cold. That's why there's so much debate about him. When he plays well, the Johnson fans will go to the Johnson skeptics, told you so. And when Johnson doesn't play well, the Johnson skeptics will answer back with the same thing. Same with Timo Werner. This front line is what needs to be revamped. We knew it would once we sold Kane and Son's getting on in age as well. This front line needs revamped, and it needs a statement sign up front and out wide.
So you look at it though with Heung-min Son, and you've seen it with other players as well, like say Cristiano Ronaldo for an example, where he started on the wings. As he gets older, progressively older, he moved to a central role and became one of the best strikers in the world. And you're looking at Heung-min Son now, and he's always played on the left, like you mentioned. But this season, 19 games as a centre forward, 12 goals, 5 assists. When he's been playing as a left winger this season, 10 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. So I mean, the ratio is clearly better when he is playing as a number 9. But also, what I would like to say to that is that you don't need to shoehorn him into one particular position, where I think that different games call for different situations. And, you know, against low blocks, you probably don't want to see him in the number 9. You want to see him out on the left-hand side. And against teams that play a high line, like your Arsenals, like your Liverpools, like your Man Cities, you probably want to see him in the number 9 so you can get him more in behind, more frequently. But the way I look at it in terms of what statement signings we need this summer, I do think it's predominantly on the wing. And when you're looking at what Ange Postecoglou needs in a left winger, I don't think it's the attributes that Song has brought us on the left wing in a Spurs shirt ever since he's come here. You know, cutting inside, providing creativity, and also providing that whipping shot from the edge of the area, which, you know, he doesn't get in the positions to do that in an Ange Postecoglou system. He needs to stay out wide, he needs to get crosses in the box, and he needs to arrive late at the back post to receive the crosses from the other winger. So do you think that the way Song plays left winger, that he's suited to Ange Postecoglou's left wing role?
Look, he's not ideal, right? The fact that he wants to cut him, but Son can go on the outside as well. That's what makes Son great. He can beat his man on the outside and the inside. I hear what you're saying about the flexibility of being able to, you know, play him up front when teams are playing high lines and moving them out wide when teams aren't. But for me, you can keep him off that left-hand side. If you get a good striker, you know, who can hold up the ball and feed Son, and he can still make them runs like he used to do when Harry Kane was up front. You know, we could still exploit that high line with him off the left-hand side. And for me, it's about going and getting the right player with all the right attributes can play up there to enhance Son's game off the left-hand side. You know, you look at Son's numbers down the middle. They're very good this season. I can't deny that. But we also can't deny he would have got more or less numbers similar to that off the wing in years gone by and stuff like that as well. So for me, I would like the flexibility. And with Son, you'll always have that flexibility. But go and get a proper number 9. Stop trying to repurpose players. It didn't work out for us with Eric Dyer. Hasn't worked out for us with Davies and people like that. You know, with Son, he's world class. He'll always score goals no matter where you put him. But it's where he's best served for Tottenham Hotspur. And for me, it is definitely in the creative department. He'll always get goals once he has other players he can link up with. I think a lot of his problems so far this season is the fact that, you know, he doesn't really have that sort of link-up player, that fluidity and movement with the likes of Johnson and Werner and teams like that. So for me, it's all about putting someone in the best position for Tottenham Hotspur and putting the right components around him. So it'd be interesting to see what the actual plans is this summer, whether Tottenham do go for a striker, whether they do go for wingers. But if we really want to go and chase down the top teams like Postecoglou wants to do, like he's been stating all season, like many fans want to do, it can't just be a statement signing in one or the other. You've got to go and fill that front line with quality, because you're going to come up with low blocks more and more next season with the way we play, with how we dominate. So a lot more games next season are going to be not tailored to Son's best attributes. I would make that argument.